Hello and very welcome everyone to this session of the current affairs. Today we are going to learn the current affairs of 21st of November 2024. So let's start and see that what are the things we can learn from this day and what are the things we can add into our notes and our general knowledge facts. So before we start, these are the topics I got covered for you in this session. Have a look at them. So I have got some international news, national news, state news. After that, I've got banking and finance, defense news, science and technology, important days, summits and conferences, awards and recognitions. And at last, I will summarize all the things for all of you that what we have learned so far in this session. Before we start, the images used in our slide deck are for educational purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So first news that we have with us today is that UN Tourism recognized 55 villages as the best tourism villages for 2024. So basically on 15th of November, the United Nations World Tourism Organization announced 55 villages recognized as the best tourism villages. Initiative highlights the role of rural destinations in promoting sustainable tourism, preserving cultural heritage, and contributing to community development. The selected villages were chosen from over 260 applications from more than 60 UN tourism member states. Among the best 55 tourist villages, 7 villages were selected from the BTV upgrade program, and 20 villages were selected to participate in the upgrade program for 2024. Dudh Maras village in Bastar district of Chhattisgarh is the only Indian village featured on this list. Remember this point very well. This point becomes very important for your exam, that which particular village of Bastar of Chhattisgarh has been introduced into the 55 villages recognized by UN Tourism. So that is the Dudh Maras village of Bastar district in Chhattisgarh. And Vishnu Dev Sai is the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. And apart from that, Chhattisgarh is also famous for one more thing, that is the Chitrakoot waterfall, that is also known as the Niagara Falls of India. So remember, Dudh Maras village in Bastar is recognized under UN Tourism from among the list of 55 villages. White category industries exempted from SPCB approval requirement. So the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MOECC, issued a directive exempting white category industries from obtaining approvals from the State Pollution Control Board. So the white category industries have been exempted from taking any kind of approval. Industries scoring up to 20 on pollution index will be exempted from certain provisions under the air prevention and control of pollution. So remember, which particular type of industries are known as white categories. So those industries which in which the pollution index is up to 20 only, provided they inform their respective SPCBs in writings. The initiative aims to streamline business processes by eliminating the need for consent to establish and consent to operate. Permissions for minimal pollution potential industries. Permission previously required from SPCBs have been merged with the environmental clearance granted by MOEFCC. White category industries include sectors like assembly of air coolers, electric lamps, fly ash bricks, manufacturing, and non-polluting process in food processing, textiles, and paper products. So do remember, the white category industries exempted from the SPCB approval requirement. Another one is the Ministry of Culture launches Amrit Parampara to showcase India's cultural heritage. So recently, Ministry of Culture launched the Amrit Parampara, a festival series to celebrate and preserve India's traditional arts, focusing on fading art forms with innovative programs, blending traditions with modern technology. So Ministry of Culture has launched the Amrit Parampara, a particular type of program in which the festival series to celebrate the preserve Indian traditional arts. Union Minister S. Jaishankar inaugurates the first program, Kaveri Meet Ganga at Kartavya Path in New Delhi from November 2 to November 5, 2024. Event showcased various art forms including Nagar Sankirtan, Govardhan Puja, Kuchipudi, Bharatnatyam, and folk traditions like Panchavadyam and Thyam. Amrit Parampara series aims to promote India's cultural legacy through four key players: the foundation of Bharatiya Sanskriti, cultural education and entertainment, synthesis of diverse ideas, and a multi-sensory experience. Festival series marks the start of a 2-year celebration of the 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Patel, honoring his achievements and role in uniting India. So, do remember the Ministry of Culture launches Amrit Parampara to showcase India's cultural heritage. Andhra Pradesh signs the memorandum to Reliance to invest 65,000 crore for 500 CBG plants. So the government of Andhra Pradesh signed an MOU, that is memorandum, with the Reliance Industries Limited to establish 500 compressed biogas plants in the state over the next 3 years. This initiative involves an investment of approximately rupees 65,000 crore, with each plant costing rupees 130 crore. The project aligns with Andhra Pradesh integrated clean energy policy, aiming to attract investment worth rupees 10 lakh crore. The project is projected to generate financial benefits of rupees 57,650 crore over 25 years through SGST, electricity duty, and employment taxes. The initiative is expected to create approximately 2.5 lakh jobs, both directly and indirectly. So do remember that Andhra Pradesh has signed a memorandum with Reliance to invest 65,000 crore for CBG, that is the compressed biogas plant. That is the gas, the particular type of compressed gas formed out of the bioproducts from the cows and other cattle. If we talk about Andhra Pradesh, so Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister is Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, and he's from the Telugu Desam Party, that is TDP, and also the Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh is Mr. Pawan Kalyan. He's from Jan Sena Party. Recently, they won the elections, and that is how the Chandrababu Naidu has become the new Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Recently, if we talk more on this, so Andhra Pradesh also got officially their new capital, that is the Amravati. It has been 10 years that Telangana was bifurcated from Andhra Pradesh, and now Andhra Pradesh has its own capital, that is Amravati. SBI, SDFC Bank, ICICI Bank named RBI's 2024 list of DSIBs. So Reserve Bank of India designated State Bank of India, SDFC Bank, ICICI Bank as domestic systematically important banks for 2024, marking them as too big to fail. So basically, the Reserve Bank of India designated the State Bank, SDFC, and ICICI Bank as systematically important banks. If we talk about SDFC, so SDFC Bank has recently particularly also opened a branch in Singapore. These banks must maintain higher common equity tier 1 capital buffers to ensure financial stability. SBI remains in the top DSIBs, requiring an additional CET1 buffer of 0.80%, which SDFC Bank is classified in bucket 2 with 0.40% CET1 buffer requirement. ICICI Bank is in bucket 1, needing an additional 0.20% CET1 buffer. Higher DSIB surcharges for SBI 0.80% and SDFC Bank 0.40% will apply from 1st of April 2025. So do remember, SBI, SDFC Bank and ICICI Bank named in RBI's 2024 list of DSIBs. Ministry of Finance, PSBs registered 11% year-on-year growth in H1 for financial year 25 at rupees 236 trillion. So according to the Ministry of Finance, the cumulative business of public sector banking showed an 11% year-on-year growth in the first half of financial year 25, reaching rupees 236 trillion. The global credit and deposit portfolios of PSBs increased by 12.9% and 9.5% year on year to rupees 102.29 lakh crore and 133.75 lakh crore respectively. Operating profit increased by 14.4% year on year to rupees 1.5 trillion, while net profit saw a growth of 25.6% at rupees 85,520 crore in half yearly financial year 25. The gross and net non-performing assets stood at 3.12% and 0.63% respectively, reflecting better asset quality. Capital to risk weighted average asset ratio reached 15.43% in September 2024 against the regulatory requirement of 11.5%. So do remember the Ministry of Finance and particularly PSBs, that is the public sector bank, registered 11% year on year growth, and this is the whole data related to that. And what is the value? That is the total value is 236 trillion rupees. So remember all these. So this is under Ministry of Finance. LIC sold 2.02% stake in Tata Power for rupees 2,888 crore. So Life Insurance Corporation of India sold more than 2.02% stake in Tata Power Company Limited for approximately rupees 2,888 crore. So recently LIC has also bought some new stakes in Maharashtra Bank and IDFC Bank. Strategic moves reduce LIC's shareholding in Tata Power from 5.906% to 3.881% of the company's paid-up capital. LIC sold over 6.47 crore shares at an average price of rupees 446.402 each. Transactions were made between 20 June 2024 and 11 November 2024. Tata Power is an Indian electricity utility and generation company based in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and is part of the Tata Group. So do remember LIC sold 2.02% stake in Tata Power for rupees 2,888 crore. India and Japan signed agreement to stealth Unicorn mast for Navy warship. So recently what has happened, guys, that on November 15th, India and Japan signed a memorandum of implementation for the co-development of the Unified Complex Radio Antenna mast for Indian Navy warship. MOI was signed by C.V. George, Ambassador of India to Japan, and Ishikawa Takeshi, Commissioner of ATLA at the Embassy of India in Tokyo. The Unicorn mast, an integrated conical structure housing antennas, is designed to enhance the stealth capabilities and will be fitted on Indian naval warships. The mast was developed by NEC Corporation, Sampa Kogyo KK, and Yokohama Rubber Company Limited, and will be co-developed by Bharat Electronics Limited in Bangalore. The initiative marks the first case of co-development and co-production of defense equipment between India and Japan. So India and Japan have signed an agreement of stealth Unicorn mast for naval warship. What is a stealth Unicorn mast? So you have learned about it in this particular paragraph. An integrated conical structure housing antennas designed to enhance stealth capability. What is a stealth? So stealth is a basic type of tactic in which particular ship will hide itself in the surroundings, and because it will not be detected on radar, and it will attack simultaneously without the enemy's recognition. So that is called stealth capability and will be fitted into the Indian naval warship. DRDO successfully completed the flight test of guided Pinaka weapon system. So recently on November 14th, the Defense Research and Development Organization successfully completed the flight test of the guided Pinaka weapon system. The tests were conducted in 3 phases across different fields, firing ranges, examining parameters like ranging, accuracy, consistency, and rate of fire. Guided Pinaka weapon system consists of 2 pods, each containing 6 rockets capable of firing 12 rockets in salvo mode within 44 seconds. System is designed and developed by DRDO Armament Research and Development Establishment in partnership with various agencies. Latest enhanced version of the Pinaka weapon system has a strike range of 75 kilometers and can strike within 10 meters of its target. So remember, DRDO successfully completed the flight test of guided Pinaka weapon system. CEA, India's renewable energy, hits new milestone as installed capacity surpassed 200 gigawatt. So according to the Central Electricity Authority, India's total renewable energy based electricity generation capacity reached 203.18 gigawatt in October 2024, a 24.2 gigawatt increase from October 2023. The growth signs with India's ambitious target of achieving 500 gigawatt from non-fossil sources by 2030. Including nuclear energy, India's total non-fossil fuel capacity increased from 186.46 gigawatt in 2023 to 211.36 gigawatt in 2024. Solar power saw a significant increase of 27.9%, reaching 92.12 gigawatt in October 2024 and marks is the largest contributor to renewable energy-based power generation. International Renewable Energy Agency 2024 annual review highlights that India's renewable energy sector generated an estimate 1.02 million jobs in 2023. So, according to the Central Electric Authority, India's renewable energy hits new milestone as installed capacity surpassed 200 gigawatt. NTPC ONGC partner to form a joint venture company. So NTPC and Oil Natural Gas Corporation, that is ONGC, partnered to form 50-50 joint venture company through their green energy subsidiaries. ONGC NTPC Green Private Limited was incorporated on November 18 to promote interest in renewable and new energy. JVC will involve in renewable energy and new energy opportunities including solar wind, energy storage, green hydrogen, green ammonia and e-mobility. Joint venture will also require RE assets and participate in offshore wind tenders in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. The JV agreement was signed on February 7th during the India Energy Week 2024. So do remember the NTPC and ONGC partnered to form a joint venture company. IAEA launched PAAT mobile app to streamline radiation alarm assessment at airport and borders. So the International Atomic Energy Agency launched the Personal Alarm Assessment Tool, that is PAT mobile application, to support frontline officers in assessing radiation alarms at airport and border crossings. So particularly to help the border security forces or the frontline forces to assess the radiation alarm at airports and border crossing, this application has been introduced. PAT is available in Arabic, English, French, and Spanish and is part of IAEA's suite of science and technology tools for nuclear security measures. The app was developed in collaboration with the Department of Physics, University of Sri Jayawardena Pura, Sri Lanka. PAT users insert data from the brief interview and radiation measurement product, producing a quantitative assessment of the likely radiation source. Tool provides a red, yellow, or green signal, offering immediate support for frontline officers in radiation source assessment. So do remember that IAEA launched PAT mobile app to streamline the radiation alarm assessment at airports and borders. Scientist discovers a new fire-resilient dual blooming species of Disleptra in the northern western Ghat of India. So scientists have discovered a new fire-resilient dual blooming species of Disleptra in the northern western Ghat of India named Disleptra polymorpha. Western Ghat are also known as Shadris. Team with MIT World Peace University and Christ College discovered new species of Dam selfie in Kerala named Melanonura melassa or the Agastya Malai bamboo tail. So this is the name. Botanists discovered new species of flowering plants named Crinum andricum in the eastern Ghat of Andhra Pradesh. New leafless orchids species named Gastrodia lohitnesis was discovered in Lohit, Arunachal Pradesh. Atharv Kulkarni, a postgraduate student from Maharashtra, discovered a new jumping spider species named Okinavicius tekdi from the hill in Pune city. And recently, some more new organisms were also discovered, like an eel was discovered in Odisha, named after a botanist Surya. A slug was discovered, a sea slug was discovered in Odisha, named after the President Draupadi Murmu. A snake was discovered in Western Himalaya, named after Leonardo DiCaprio. A new type of blue heavy metal ant was discovered in Arunachal Pradesh. And a new type of genus was discovered in Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. And needlefish was discovered in Kerala. And apart from them, now this particularly the fire resilient dual blooming species of Dasleptra in northern Western Ghat of India has been discovered. World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims 2024. So 17th November is the day remembering the people who have become the victims of the road traffics. So United Nations World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims is observed annually on third Sunday in November to pay tributes to the victims of road traffic injuries and their families. WDOR for Road Traffic Victims 2024 falls on 17 November with the slogan Remember, Support and Act. The day was designated by UN Assembly in 2005 to improve global road safety. Observance aims to raise awareness about the impact of road traffic injuries and promote measures to prevent them. So do remember the World Day of Remembrance of Road Traffic Victims 2024, 17th of November. National Epilepsy Day. So National Epilepsy Day is observed annually in India on 17 November to spread awareness about epilepsy, neurological disorder characterized by recurrent seizures. The day highlights the impact of epilepsy on individuals, families, and communities and aims to eliminate myths and misconceptions. Purple ribbon is the symbol of epilepsy awareness. Observance of NED was proposed by Dr. Eddie Bharucha and Dr. Pilo Bharucha and declared by the Indian Epilepsy Association in 1990. So do remember National Epilepsy Day is observed on 17th of November. International Students Day. So International Students Day is observed annually on 17th November to celebrate multiculturalism, diversity, and teamwork among students. The day aims to ensure the equal educational opportunities for every child worldwide. Observance marks the anniversary of the Nazi invasion of Charles University in Prague in 1939, where students protested led to the closure of universities and execution of student leaders. First International Student Day was observed on November 17, 1941 by the International Students' Council in London. Velvet Revolution in Prague in 1989 commemorated International Students' Day, ended communist rule in Czechoslovakia and catalyzed democratization in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. So do remember International Students' Day is observed on 17th of November. India IEA MOU for cooperation in critical minerals. So on November 13th, 2024, the Ministry of Mines signed a memorandum of understandings with International Energy Agency at Shastri Bhavan, New Delhi, to enhance the collaboration in the field of critical minerals. Memorandum was signed by V.L. Kantrao, Secretary, Ministry of Mines, and Fatih Birol, Executive Director of IEA, in the presence of Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy and other senior officials. This partnership aims to provide India with access to reliable data, in-depth analysis, and policy guidance, strengthening its ability to manage critical resources strategically. Key benefits include support in policy development, capacity building through joint research and training programs, and advanced capabilities in data collection and analysis. India is an active member of USA-led Mineral Security Partnership, focusing on securing adequate supplies of critical minerals essential for achieving global zero carbon emission goals. So remember, India has signed a memorandum with IEA to further cooperation in critical minerals. 27th Energy Technology Summit held from 12th November to 14th November. So recently, the Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri, the Minister of Petroleum and Oil and Natural Gas and Housing and Urban Affairs, launched the 27th Technology Meet in Bangalore, Karnataka, focusing on the theme Green Energy Horizons, Advancing Sustainable Refining and Petrochemicals. Event saw the participation of 1,200 experts, academia licensor, R&D scientists, and professionals from the hydrocarbon sector, with 60 papers presented and 23 exhibitors showcasing their technologies. Minister Puri highlighted the biofuel blending saved India rupees 91,000 crore on the import bill benefiting the agricultural sector and noted that India's biofuel blending rate has reached 16.9%. India ranked second globally in biofuel blending and is on track to surpass 20% target set for 2030, 5 years ahead of schedule. Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals Limited received a special award for innovations in refining, marking the third consecutive year of recognition by the Government of India. So do remember that 27th Energy Technology Summit held from 12th to 14th of November 2024 under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, that is headed by Hardeep Singh Puri in Bangalore, Karnataka. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and UN Habitat signed the memorandum for sustainable development in urban areas. So on November 15th, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and United Nations Human Settlement Program signed a memorandum to promote sustainable development in urban areas in India. So to provide the sustainable things to the urban areas, this memorandum has been signed. The memorandum was signed by Kati Kitala Srinivas, Secretary of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and Kazuku Ishigaki, Regional Representative UN Habitat at the 12th World Urban Forum in Cairo, Egypt. Cairo is the capital of Egypt. Partnership aims to enhance advanced sustainable urbanization goals, aligning with India's commitment to achieving sustainable development goals, specifically SDG 11. Collaboration will involve knowledge sharing, policy guidance, and technical expertise to foster inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable urban development. Urban Rasta framework was launched as a part of this collaboration, focusing on spatial equality, SDG localization, climate resilience, and an inclusive economy. So, for this purpose, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and UN Habitat signed the memorandum for sustainable development in the urban areas. FTII's short film Sunflowers were the first one to know, qualified for Oscar 2025. So, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting announced that the Film and Television Institute of India, FTII, student film Sunflowers were the first one to know as qualified for the 2025 Oscars in the live action short film category. The Kannada short film, directed by Chidanand S. Nayak, chronicles a village where chaos unfolds after an elderly woman steals a rooster. The 16-minute film won the first prize at the Cannes Film Festival, Last in F Selection 2024, and Bangalore International Short Film Festival. 97th Academy Awards will be held on 2nd of March 2025 in Los Angeles, USA. And remember, the Cannes Film Festival is from France, and the International Film Festival of India recently held it in Goa, and the observing country was Australia. So remember, the FTII's short film Sunflower was the first one to know, so qualified for the Oscars 2025 under the short film category. And in the long-term film or the feature film category, Lapata Ladies has been recognized to feature in the Oscar Awards. Let's revise what we have learned. So, international news: UN Tourism recognized 55 villages as best tourism villages for 2024. White category industries exempted from SPCB approval requirement. Ministry of Culture launches Amrit Parampara to showcase India's cultural heritage. Andhra Pradesh signs a memorandum with Reliance to invest 65,000 crore for 500 CBG plants. SBI, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank named in RBI's 2024 list of DSIBs. Ministry of Finance, PSB registered 11% year-on-year growth in half yearly of financial year 25 at rupees 236 trillion. LIC sold 2.02% stake in Tata Powers for rupees 2,888 crore. India and Japan signed agreement to steal Unicorn Mast for Navy warship. DRDO successfully completed first flight test of guided Pinaka weapon system. CEA, India's renewable energy hits new milestone as installed capacity surpassed 200 gigawatt. NTPC ONGC partnered to form a joint venture company. IAEA launched PET mobile app to streamline radiation alarm assessment at airports and borders. Scientists discovers a new fire-resilient dual blooming species of Desleptra in the northern western part of India. World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims 2024, November 17th. National Epilepsy Day 2024, November 17th. International Students Day 2024, November 17th. India IEA Memorandum for Cooperation in Critical Minerals. 27th Energy Technology Summit held from 12th to 14th of November. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs signed UN Habitat Sign Memorandum for Sustainable Development in Urban Areas. FTII short film Sunflower were the first one to know qualified for Oscars. And that's it in this session, guys. I hope you gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of things in this session. And you have noted everything in your notebooks that are important and that will help you in your exam. I will meet you once again in next session in which we will discuss some more current affairs. Until then, bye bye. Take care, everyone, and see you soon.